September 15, 2004. Contestants and crew for the second annual Jungle Marathon travel to Para in northern Brazil to tackle one of the most extreme endurance races. Arriving at the base camp deep in the Amazon jungle at Itapuama, they have to prepare for 6 stages of running in the most demanding of conditions. Swamps, rivers, beaches, the jungle, and all that live in it awaits this international field of athletes. The runners go through a stringent medical and kit inspection before survival training aimed at keeping them as safe as possible out there.
We had some suggestions to how we could help you to be more prepared for what's coming up. Dave suggested to talk to you guys about foot problems before you actually do the race.
The real goal here is to prevent problems. It's not to treat them after they've happened. There are 3 main things that cause blisters: heat, friction, and moisture. And if you can stop any of those things, then you stop the blisters from happening. Take your finger and pull back along your toenails across the top. And if it feels like it's going to snag, then you need to come over. We have a very good file to thin the toenail down so it won't snag. Very good at the end of the day to have alternative shoes, or get your shoes off if you can, because then the skin can recover for the next day.
I'm Andy Ratchford. I'm one of the expedition doctors for the Jungle Marathon. We've just been doing the medicals for all the competitors this morning, just checking them over and doing their ECGs and blood pressures and stuff. So we've basically just gone through about 50 competitors in less than an hour doing medicals, which is just amazing, because the people we normally see in A&E are really ill, and this lot are a really fit, healthy bunch of people. So it's really easy. They haven't got any problems, no medications, no allergies, fit and healthy. The only thing that we found is interesting is on their ECG, their heart tracing. They've got changes of an athletic heart, which is quite unusual in normal people like myself. And there's probably about 30–40% of them that have got these early changes, and it's just because the bulk of the muscle of their heart is really strengthened up. It's just in this lead here we get this little bit of change where this little V shape is normally an N shape, it's normally upright and it's negative, and it's just an indication that the heart's very strong, and also the pulse rate is quite slow. It means that the heart at rest doesn't need to pump very hard to circulate blood around the body. And we found it in a lot of these guys, which is good. So hopefully it means that they're going to be fit enough to complete the race, which is the important thing.
Tiririca punch, it can cut you like a knife.
Meu nome é Zaira, tenho 23 anos.
Her name is Zaira. She's 23 years old and she likes this kind of adventures. This is the first time that she's doing a runner like this. Zaira trained just 2 weeks to participate in this runner, just 2 hours every day.
Ganhar também é muito importante, né? Eu quero ganhar, lógico.
She wants to win this race.
Mas quero pelo menos chegar
But
até a final.
her objective is to finish the race.
Yeah, she's got a pole with a tin on each end filled with concrete. Okay, your weight training? Yeah, she's been weight training as well.
I took over Jungle Marathon at the beginning of the year. I was involved as an investor in last year's event, but became managing director of the company myself in March. It's been quite a headache setting it up logistically, trying to organise communications and both medical and other support in a jungle environment is not easy. But it's worked very well. We've had a great team working with us. I know the race will go from strength to strength. It was very important to us to give a lot back to the state of Para, because they've been very welcoming and very helpful as regards setting up the race. So one of the things we did was we built our base camp at Itapuama as a gift to the local community. We were very lucky in that IBAMA, who are the Forestry Commission, donated 53 cubic metres of wood to us, which is actually confiscated wood from the area, and this enabled us to build this. We paid for other costs and for the building costs, and this is now going to be used as an ecotourism centre, which will be a business for the people of the village and will be run in conjunction with the students from the local university. We have 108 support crew. This comprises the local military, the local fire service, and also our own support crew that we brought from the UK and from the United States. Our medical team has comprised 2 UK doctors, 4 UK nurses, an osteopath from the UK, a podiatrist, some paramedics, and all of them have come along very kindly on a volunteer basis. We have paid for their flights and expenses, but they have given up their time for nothing.
They are poisonous. They are very aggressive. They can run after you trying to bite you. They start eating your skin inside.
The military were here to organise our communications, so one of the military supplied us with the radios and the rest of them organised the communications between the checkpoints back to the base camp and from base camp to campsite every day.
I've been doing a marathon every weekend with a pack on for the last 5-6 weeks. Been averaging 100k a week for the last 5-6 months really. You know, a free massage, I'll grab one anytime, and even if it's in the middle of the jungle next to the Amazon River.
Mr. Lee, he's 42 years old, he's a blind man. And Mr. An, he's 40 years old. He is one of the members of the blind men that practice these marathons. But he will give you some hopes to normal people living in Korea. He will guide this marathon like this. They run together all the times.
I'm a little fat Welshman. I'm not got high hopes, but I intend finishing the race. I don't think there's any doubt about that. And placing somewhere in the middle, I'd be absolutely chuffed to winkles with.
Winning's good. I want to win, but you have to be realistic and just experience everything and learn as much as you can from the people around you, and then apply it.
It's obvious you have to watch where you're going to sit down. Watch for ants, watch for scorpions, and if you don't like them, watch for spiders. When you get to the finish, and basically at every other beach, I think you have been informed about that in the survival training, be careful about stingrays. But I also would like to ask you that you help each other, okay? Because the crew can't be everywhere at the same time. So if you see an athlete who has problems, talk to him, her, and inform the checkpoint. Or if necessary, stay with them.
When does the race start?
Because the start is scheduled for 7. Okay, but we may have to start at 7:30 at the latest.